What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 6 of the Delorean build series. We're going to get you guys caught up on everything that's been done in the last couple of weeks, and then we're going to take the engine out so we can get it prepped in its final form. We'll be going back in the car and get this car finished up. So right now Martin's getting this car ready to do some of the work on the back of this fiberglass tub that's in this car. So once the intercoolers are done, which my dad is currently working on the end tanks for those over there, those are being machined. Once those are done and the intercoolers are done, Martin is going to take this engine out. My dad is going to do some of the work on getting this engine prepped. I'll show you guys that when that time comes. But for the meantime, Martin has taken this one quarter panel off here. You guys can see it's over here. He's got this one off. He's also got this little like side skirt thing off. And he's currently doing some of the work to replace these riv nuts that came on this car. So these riv nuts used to be brand new, but as time's gone on, they've gotten wet, rusty, and have just gone bad. So now Martin is taking the time to replace all of these so that if the car is ever in an accident or ever gets bumped into and we need to replace one of these parts, it's easy to just take off, replace, and put a new one on. Doesn't take too much time. Pretty soon he's going to get this quarter panel over here off as well, so I'll show you guys that. When you're doing projects on old cars like these from the 80s, 70s, even earlier than that, you're going to run into problems like this where you see these old riv nuts and stuff are just old and rusty and need to be replaced. I'm sure you guys saw that a lot of the subframe had to be repainted as well as part of the suspension. These are just problems you're going to see in builds like these that you have to address before you can kind of move on. It's time consuming, of course, not something that we prefer to do, but it's one of the things that's just kind of a necessary part of it. So here's Martin putting in new riv nuts right here.
I had to get these off the car, off the lift, because you know this is in the way. I can't get to it, so.
So if you guys see, we've got these intercoolers all mounted up. We're using Bell intercooler cores. They're a small, customizable size, which is good for this car with the sizing issues that we're having. My dad made custom end tanks, which you guys can see here. Mounted straight to the turbo just like that. No coupling necessary. These little fans are what we're using on the bottom of these, so they go right up underneath there.
The bracket's already made.
And they pull the air up and through that filter, which actually goes right into the turbo, and then into the intercooler, keep everything running nice and cool. While that was going on, my dad was making the engine harness, as you guys can see here, is all done on the engine side. Everything's nice and clean. You guys can see there's indications for what each wire is for. It makes it really easy for even, you know, anybody else to work on this car if the car gets sold in the future or something. It's easy to tell what it's for. While my dad was making the engine wiring harness, Martin was making a couple of custom aluminum tanks, each having their own specific purpose. This one over here is the oil catch can as well as crankcase breather. And these two here kind of work in unison. This is the air and water separator, and this acts as a overflow for that system in case there's any water overflow when the car heats up. All of it kind of works in sync. You guys can see that this corner is blocked off for a cutout, which is going to be used for this bigger aluminum tank that Martin made. So this is a 6-inch diameter, just over a gallon surge tank for the fuel system. So to make sure the car's on track or going up in the mountains, no matter what he does cornering wise, it should have more than enough fuel to keep the car running good. So the whole point of a surge tank is if you're doing some hard cornering, you're having a lot of G-force, if your fuel is sloshing from side to side in your tank, you have an extra gallon that's filled here that the engine won't ever have any starving issues going around corners or going up or down hills or anything like that. So we used Aeromotive pumps and then just bought some material and made these end caps. I'll show you guys some footage of Martin making the end caps. That was kind of a cool process you guys would like to see. Martin's going to start the process of taking the engine out. It'll be kind of a fun thing to watch. I'll probably time lapse most of it so you guys can just kind of see it all fast. So Martin got the engine out of the car. You guys can see it, it's all taken apart. The next stage for Martin is he's gonna cut this hole that I showed you guys earlier right here. It's gonna be where the surge tank goes. And then all of this fiberglass tub is gonna be repainted, be nice and clean so it looks good. Fix up some of these holes like this one up here. Get those nice and cleaned up. And then now with the engine apart, my dad is going to separate these two and make the flywheel that has to be custom made to mount these two engine and transmission together. The transmission was in the car for a while, so we had to delay that part of the project. Now that the engine and transmission are back out, we can get back onto that and go from there. So that's going to be it for this video. We're going to get the engine and transmission apart and get started on the flywheel. You guys will see that in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.